History of English Literature. Old English Literature. The Old English language, or Anglo-Saxon, is the earliest form of English. The period is a long one, and it is generally considered that Old English was spoken from about 680 to about 1100. Many of the poems of the period are pagan, in particular Beowulf. Beowulf. This is the greatest epic of the Old English period. The author of Beowulf is anonymous, i.e., his name is unknown. The Angles brought it with them to England in the 6th century, so it is a Scandinavian story brought over by the Angles and made into a poem in England. It is a story of a brave young man, Beowulf, written in 3,182 lines. In this epic poem, Beowulf sails to Denmark with a band of warriors to save the Danish king of Denmark, Hrothgar. Beowulf saves the Danish king, who lived in a splendid hall by the sea, from a terrible monster called Grendel. The mother of Grendel, who sought vengeance for the death of her son, was also killed by Beowulf. Beowulf was rewarded and became king. After a prosperous reign of some 40 years, Beowulf slays a dragon, but in the fight he himself receives a mortal wound and dies. The poem concludes with the funeral ceremonies in honor of the dead hero. The poem Beowulf is an interesting document because it gives a picture of the simple life and practices of old days. The Christian and pagan elements can be noticed in Beowulf. The observing of omens, the attribution of power to fate, cremation, blood revenge are all pagan. On the other hand, the assumption of God's dominion over the world, of the devil's agency among men, of the existence of heaven and hell, of the last judgment are all Christian. Can I read the Old English literature? No, I can't. I cannot, unless I make a special study of it, and the Old English language is very different from that of today. Besides Beowulf, there are many other Old English poems. For example, Genesis A, Genesis B, Exodus, Christ and Satan, Daniel, The Dream of the Root, The Battle of Maldon, etc. are some of the examples. Two important figures in Old English poetry are Cynewulf and Caedmon. Cynewulf wrote religious poems, and the 4 poems, Juliana, The Fates of the Apostles, Christ and Eileen, are always credited with him. Caedmon is famous for his hymn. Old English prose came later than Old English verse. King Alfred enriched Old English prose with his translations from Latin. He had a zest for knowledge and a desire to spread it among his people. Much of his work was translation He learned Latin in order to translate works for the enlightenment of his subjects. Ælfric is another important prose writer during Old English period. He is famous for his homilies and lives of the saints. Ælfric's prose is natural and easy and is very often alliterative. There was no rhyme in Old English poems. Instead, they used the Old Germanic alliterative line. That is, each half line is joined to the other by alliteration. For example, Medis Mar. Thank you for watching.